Here's a tweet from Ashley Spencer. Unbelievable drops on Netflix this week, and I can't stop thinking about what a masterpiece it is. And I'm here today with actor Danielle MacDonald, one of the stars of Unbelievable, to talk about the Netflix limited run series. How are you today?
I'm good. How are you?
It's great to be here with you. You know, we were talking about this, but you know, I love the show so much, but it's such a hard show to get through. So I don't want to be too happy to see you, but you know that there's a lot of joy here.
Yeah. It's an interesting mix.
Yes,
yeah.
It for sure is. So, you know, Unbelievable is the story of two detectives following a serial rapist and his crimes. What were your first thoughts when you read that script? It seems incredibly heavy to hand over to someone.
Yeah, it was. I got sent the pilot script and the ProPublica article. I'm saying that wrong, aren't I?
You said it right, girl.
Right.
You're good.
Okay.
ProPublica.
ProPublica article, and then I also got sent the podcast, this American Life podcast. So I got to kind of get the full story from the article, and then I got to hear kind of the own personal account on the podcast, and then I also got to read the pilot script, which is just part of the story, because there are kind of two parallel storylines throughout, and it is incredibly heavy, but at the same time such an important story. It continues a conversation that people are finally talking about. I think it's needed, and I just wanted to be a part of that, especially after talking to the producers, and they really wanted to tell the story the right way. It was never going to be gratuitous. It was never going to milk the story for it was giving the facts, and that was so important.
And that is very important. But let's take a quick look at it real quick, because we have something here.
One more thing. About him, about the guy.
What's that?
He told me this was his first rape, but I don't think that's true. I think he's done this before.
So as folks can see, your character is a survivor of sexual violence. How did you get into the mindset of playing such a tough role and tough scenes there?
It's really not easy. I had kind of limited information, and basically what I had to go on was she was seemingly fine. And that kind of sounds, a lot of people don't understand that, I guess is the best way to put it. And I at first was like, okay, how do I get into this headspace when someone is seemingly fine after going through this? And so I did a lot of research into the trauma that people go through. And every case is so different. That has honestly been the main takeaway for me, is just understanding how differently everyone reacts to trauma. And there is no one right way to react. And no one should be judged for how they react, because we all process things differently. And that was honestly the most eye-opening thing for me. And that helped me find the character. That helped me understand everything that was going on underneath, and then having to be okay, having to get through.
I kept thinking about you as an actress, and I'd love to know, how did you decompress after that? Because even though you're acting fine, I'm sure it wasn't fine.
Yeah, no, it's because there's this whole other world going on underneath, and you can't be fine without everything else underneath. And so there's this anxiety, and there's a lot going on underneath. And so it stays with you. And a story like this, it's hard to leave it behind when you leave set. I would have like a week off, and then I would come back to set, and it's like I couldn't exactly leave it behind. And I was shooting in LA, so I was also at home, so it felt too close. Back. Yeah, it just kept coming with me, and it's hard, but you also remember people actually experience this. This is a true story. This is what someone went through, and I am just telling that, so you can't focus too much on like yourself. It's like someone actually experiences.
Would you say that kind of nugget that you just pointed to is what got you through this? Because that's what you're wanting the audience to take away from?
Yeah, it really is kind of what got me through. It's about someone else, and you keep that in your mind, and that gets you through. And then on top of that, I have good friends, and I have animals that I go home and cuddle, and you have to find a way to stay in your life.
Self-care,
while also
girl.
being able to do that.
So important. Well, you know, beyond this project, which is really important, you've done a bunch of other things. You did Bird Box and Dumplin, which both are great films, but Dumplin, girl, as we spoke about, is my thing, because Dolly Parton. So, you know, now this is 3 major projects with Netflix. Do you feel like they are helping you really step into these huge opportunities as a platform?
Yeah, it's been kind of amazing. You know, it's funny because Dumplin was actually an indie movie that then got bought by Netflix, which was really cool because that was my first experience with them. And then Bird Box was through and through them. So it was like and they came out a week apart.
Yeah.
So that was one of those weird things where I was like, what is happening? Like my life kind of changed overnight a little bit because it has such a wide reach. And I didn't really think about that. But yeah, Netflix really has a platform that does get seen internationally, and that's really cool because it means your stories just go further. I think a story like this is so important. I'm glad that it gets to be seen internationally. But yeah, Netflix has been really amazing to work with, so I've enjoyed every experience I've had with them.
And something that I've noticed with Netflix is that they're investing a lot in romantic comedies, and I don't know if I'd say Dumplin is a romantic comedy specifically.
Yeah, it's like it like touches upon that. I feel like when I was filming Dumplin, I always said we had like 3 different movies. I had like my movie with Luke, my like little rom-com with Luke, who plays Bo. And then I had, you know, my mother-daughter drama with Jen. And then I had like my like girl squad friend group and with the girls. And it felt so funny because it felt, we shot them all so separately. Yeah. It was like, wow,
I'm putting them all together.
And then it all combined. So I can't tell you what the genre is, but
I can't either, and I loved it. But let's focus on one of the genres, romantic comedy. If you were able to be cast in a romantic comedy that you were starring in, who would you want to be your love interest?
Oh God. Oh, I don't know. That's a really hard one.
You can name a few if you need.
Okay, I'm trying to think. This might be a little weird now, but like my 13-year-old self would have said Patrick Dempsey because I was in love with McDreamy from Grey's Anatomy.
Of course. Yeah.
Now, oh my God, I don't know. It's weird because like I feel like I've met so many people. It'd be so
you don't want to out yourself? Okay, I'll let you get away with that. Okay, what about Noah Centineo? You know, he's a fellow Netflix person.
You know, I actually haven't met him.
So maybe that's a safe pick.
Maybe that's a safe pick. Or maybe I'll just go with Luke because I've already done it like with him once for a Dumplin. Like, come on, let's have round 2.
I love that for you.
Yeah, more Willadine and Bo.
Yes, very much that. But, oh my gosh, I'm imagining that right now.
I'm paying for it.
Yes, Twitter, do your thing. So before you go, I have to talk to you about all your co-stars in the past. You know, Sandra Bullock, Jennifer Aniston, Toni, Collette. What is the biggest thing you've been learning by working with these titans of actresses?
Honestly, I think the biggest thing I've noticed that they all have in common is that they're so hardworking. It's not like, oh, we worked hard and then we became famous and now we just still. It's like, nope. They are constantly hardworking, confident, verbal people. You know, they're not shy and they're always very polite and friendly with it. It's like they're good people. They're good people that respect other people and they're also hardworking. It's like, that's just an amazing combination. They're powerhouses for a reason.
That's incredible. I love to know that my secret mom, Sandra Bullock, is a nice person.
Oh my God, the coolest. And she's also like the coolest mom.
Thank you.
She's the coolest.
My fantasies have told me this.
I was like, oh, she's so cool. She was like, she'd be on set and she'd be, you know, leading a huge movie while also like her kids were there. And I was like, you're unbelievable. She's incredible.
Oh, Sandra Bullock.
Superhuman.
Well, you two are goals for me too, because I loved your work. And thank you so much for being here today.
Thank you for
It's been
having
wonderful
me.
getting to know you more. And Unbelievable is now streaming on Netflix. More Aim to DM is up next.